Okay, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services said childcare is only considered affordable when it costs families no more than 7% of their household income. So when we come here, and I think we got new household income numbers. I heard it's around 70,000 now. Yep, let's share this tab. All right, so we're saying right now, this is 2022, but this is what most recently popped up from their bureau. Let's see if we get something. Okay, census. We got U.S. Census from 2022. So $75,000 in 2022. This data is so behind, by the way. I mean, we're in 2024. I guess 2023 just ended. They waiting for people to file their taxes. Okay, that makes sense. Anyways, as I correct myself live on air, shout out to the errors and cleanups. So we got $75,000 of your gross, and 7% of that is going to be. I don't even know why I did the math because 10% is 75, right? 1,000 is 7,500. They saying, hold on, this is my first I've ever heard of a number of how much daycare should be of your household income. The U.S. Department of Health and Human HHS said childcare is only considered affordable when it costs families no more than 7% of their household income. Let's just go based off of gross. So per $100,000, childcare should be no more than $10K. Is this per child? Department of Health and Human. I'm now. Shout out to student loans, how much they go up. This is saying childcare is 18K. So let's just do 18K. It's almost half. When it's 24% of 18K, then 36% is obviously going to be almost 50% of 75. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Maybe it should be illegal. All right, but the current market doesn't match that, obviously. While the average weekly nanny cost is a whopping $766. Goodness gracious. Average daycare costs aren't much better at $321 a study pound. There is daycare costs, but because my wife did this when she was doing her cleaning service, she was cleaning for people who they had a live-in nanny, and I believe that is cheaper than what it is for to send them to daycare. Now, obviously, though, you have to have space for this person to live with you, so you have likely increased housing costs. But as far as just how much it costs to have a living in, I believe that is cheaper than just having someone come to your house. But $766, hey, them nannies making bank. I got some friends that is nannies, and they do be making a lot of money. All right, with most parents paying upwards of 18K, my goodness, even if you make $100,000, it's still 18%. Even if you make $200,000, it's 9%. I want to be very clear. So we can. I'm not sharing the tab. My bad, y'all. I want to be very clear. All right, here we go again. 7%, and then nannies is $766 for nannies, and then $321 for daycare. But I want to be very clear. It's saying 7% is what it should be. But am I doing this math right? 18,000. Yeah, it's 18% of 100,000. Yeah, so even if you make $200,000 gross or net, even if you make $200,000 net, even if your net is 200K, you're still 2% of what it should be as far as how much what will be considered affordable daycare. And this is from care.com. This is from the Department of Health and Human Services. This is a government agency, a federal government agency. It's saying it should be 7% of your household income. I did not know it was that low. That is insane. And see, this is what I'm talking about the math. When you start running out the math, if childcare is supposed to be 7%, no more than 7%, right? You're supposed to put in 15% to your retirement. That's 22% right there. Then they want your DTI to be no more than right. You start adding up this math, then you got to add in taxes. And y'all want to keep this debt? Because you can get to 50% real quick before you even start paying taxes and healthcare. Obviously, for those of you who have HSA or FSA, there's the FSA, I think it's FSA dependent account. I can't remember exactly what the verbiage is, where you can put money into your FSA. It's going to be tax deductible, or you don't have to pay any taxes on it, should I say. And then you can use that towards your child care or however you're supposed to do that. But there is an FSA out there for dependent care on top of an FSA or HSA that you have. So I believe you can have the HSA. So I'm trying to work on not talking fast. I believe you can have an HSA and an FSA dependent care. Yep, you can have dependent care FSA. Yep, you can have that, and as well as HSA. You can't have a HSA, a health savings account. By the way, for those who don't know, you can't have a health savings account and a flexible spending account, but you can have a health savings account and a dependent care flexible spending account, which is going to be for dependent care, and that's via your employer. or your insurance technically, but most people get their insurance through their employer, but some people can't do it through the marketplace. Okay, let's be clear. That 7% by HHS is crazy low number, and I want to be clear, almost nobody is hitting that. I would say, like, I see how many people are paying 18K or 36K, but how many people are at the no more than 7%? I would say no one. I don't know anyone who's at 7% or less, besides the people like myself who we're not paying for daycare. I just want to say it one more time as we wrap up. If you make $200,000 net, if you make 200K net, all right, that's over $16,000 a month net. That's over 8K a check. All right, if you get paid twice a month. If your daycare is over 7% of that, what your daycare should be of that is $1,166, which over the course of a year, it should be $14,000. So if you make 200K net, your daycare should be 14K to hit this mark from HHS as far as being no more than 7% of your household income. That's crazy. That is crazy. I mean, that's disgusting. What's that guy on TikTok? He's a guy from New York, and he'd be making fun of people. He's like, that's crazy, or whatever he was saying. I got a good New York accent. Anyway, most parents paying upwards of 18K, right? They spend on average 24%. Okay, like I said, okay, 24%, that's the household income number. They're using 75K again, I believe, for the household income. Yep. Other expense. With many forking over more for their children to be cared for while they're at work. Yeah. All respondents are parents of children 14 years or younger and currently pay for professional childcare confirmed by both consumer match data and self-confirmation. The report said, beyond the pricing issue of most daycares on the typical American family is another problem. Access to daycare. So then the cost, and let's not even talk, they're probably not gonna get to it in this article, but we got the cost of daycare, we got the ability to actually get into a daycare, but then we go about the people working at these daycare facilities, and then we go like as far as security, and then we go about the information that these people at the daycare are putting into the children at daycare. Those are 4 different layers. I'm paying this much money and I can't even get in, but once I do get in, I got to pay this much money. Then who is working here, right? As far as from a security standpoint, and then on top of that, we got, what are you teaching my child? Because, woo, shout out to my wife. Anyways, the report found that 65% of parents spent time on daycare center waitlists. 81% of waitlisted parents found themselves on multiple waitlists simultaneously. That's all of them. Around 43% said they've been waiting for how are you going to wait for 4 months or longer? I guess it's before or after the child is born. Right, children in daycare, I think around 3 months. I would not know because my son is not in daycare. So I didn't take the time to research it exactly. Let's see. I'll just look it real quick. Six weeks. Oh, goodness. 6 weeks. That's crazy. Okay, how to get around the high costs. Let's see. Increase your income, obviously. If you do have daycare access, but you're still struggling to make the payments, there are some options. Jim Usler, a wealth advisor, HCM Wealth Advisors, recommends. I do not read these articles ahead of time. I am not a wealth advisor, but I'll be telling you, I'll be knowing this information. Parents see if their employers offer a flexible spending account, FSA. These typically are pre-tax, right? I don't mean tax deductible, pre-tax. Way to pay. Money is withheld from your check. Okay, that's what pre-tax means. And you simply request it paid back to you once you have the receipt showing the qualified expense. Yeah, FSA or an HSA is like really, it's not, I wouldn't consider a bank account, but just if you like your own bank account where the money is at, you usually get your own debit card with it. You swipe it and make transactions for that. Then you get reimbursed that money. Or you get reimbursed that money. You show proof of receipt, so you don't have to pay taxes on all these various ways to, show that it was a qualified expense that HSA or FSA money was used on it. And I believe, to my knowledge, for 2024, HSA and FSA qualified expenses are exactly the same. I believe my mom told me, like when I was growing up, there was a time where they weren't the same, but I believe now the qualified expenses are the same. Yeah, pay it back once you have receipts showing the qualified expense. Yep. Okay. Usler told Newsweek the amount you can utilize as a pre-tax deduction may not cover your entire yearly childcare costs, but every bill helps. Yep. Okay.